Y'all are in trouble. I have a music stand today. I just got so many notes I got to tell y'all about. I couldn't risk it. Let me just tell you real quick before I forget, though. We got these cards in the back, and there may just see a little pile. Grab the whole pile. We got tons more. We got some in the sound booth, I believe. We can keep filling it back up, but grab all you want. Hand them out. It's all the information's on here about what we're doing, and the times and the dates and all that's on here. So don't forget that. Take as many as you want. Take them with you, and invite some friends. It's going to be awesome, and so I can't wait to celebrate at the movies with you guys. It's been a kind of a crazy season, and well, let's just say it's been a crazy year. Okay, it's been a crazy year. It's been a crazy 9 months. Wait, are we in 11 months? Is this November? Anybody else shocked at the fact that we just blinked and it was November? It's been crazy, but I want to challenge us this morning with this legacy message, because if you're like me, you feel wore out, you feel spent, you feel like you don't have much to offer, and I want you to know that you do. God's got something powerful for you. He wants to show you something more, and I want to share a couple of verses with you. And what we're going to do is we're going to break down this morning what we've done this year, what you guys have helped us do. And I want to show you that, and so you can actually see, because I think sometimes we fail as leaders in churches to share with you guys what you're doing. And not everything. I'm not saying you don't have to show up to every single thing. A lot of y'all do. We have incredible dream teams, incredible outreach here. It's really the part of the DNA of WRC. But outside of that, even when you're not here, even when you're not on a serve team serving in someone's yard, even when you're not doing those things are still happening that maybe you don't know about through missionaries and missions that we support and help out. And so with Legacy, we have 5 lanes. So we actually have something called a legacy team, and those are people who they're just givers, right? I mean, you don't you can't just go, hey, I want to be on a legacy team. Like they're people who give above and beyond. I mean, they and I mean not just finances, but time and everything else, but specifically finances. And it's a team that helps us accelerate the vision of the church. And so we can't listen. I can have all the vision I want, but if we don't have the financial income to take care of it, then it can be vision all day, but we can't get it done. And we got stuff that we want to do that we can't do because of finances. So I want to tell you that. Let me just stop right there and say finances are amazing, right? I mean, like I'm not sitting here. Don't be going, oh, don't shut me out because you think I'm about to start begging for money. That's not what I'm doing. In fact, I would just say this has been the healthiest financial year we've ever had at WRC. In the middle of a pandemic. The first thing I told our staff when everything hit in March, I said, look, everything's good, don't worry. And I kind of just tell you guys, up to this point, you guys have given more than we've ever gotten up to this point in a single year at WRC. It's been incredible. So don't hear what I'm not saying, but what I am telling you is we have teams just for this. We have teams that help accelerate, that just want to help pour a fuel on the fire. And so I want to share some of the stuff that we got to do, we've been able to do with that. First of all, I want to show you a couple of scriptures, because Jesus made it very clear that when he came, it wasn't about him. And when we talk about legacy and we talk about leaving a lasting impression that's going to be and have an eternal impact, we're saying that it's not about me. That's what you're saying. When you jump on a dream team and you show up early, listen, I pull in here. There's usually 3 vehicles before I even get here in the morning. Some of that staff, but most of them are volunteers. Dream teamers, people that show up, they're not even getting a penny for it. But even our staff's so committed. This week I told Jeremy, I said, you got to take some time off, bro. You got to just like take off Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, do what you got to do, get off. Can I just tell y'all, he was supposed to be off Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. He was here every day. I'm only going to be here for a minute. Yeah, 3 hours later, he's finally rolling out. And then last night, I was up here for a little while finalizing some stuff. And I hear the door open. He rolls in here and said, last night. But that's the commitment that we have here. And that's not on accident. That's character on their part, and hopefully vision on our part to say, hey, here's where we're going, here's what we're doing, here's what it's going to take for us to get there. And so there's commitment. But Jesus said very clearly, this is not about me. This is about everybody else. And so when you serve, that's what you're saying. And the disciples start complaining. They start saying, okay, God, Jesus, who's going to sit on your right and your left? Who's going to have the authority in the next life? Who's going to get to sit on your side and make decisions and point fingers and judge people? Who's going to help do that? And then Jesus calls them together. They started getting indignant about it. Jesus calls them together in Mark chapter 10, verse 42. And Jesus called them together and said, you know that the rulers in this world lord it over the people. In other words, people who are in authority act like it. People who can point and direct and shame people, they act like they have authority. And then he says this, and officials flaunt their authority over those under them. So there's this attitude of, when I'm bigger than you, when I got more authority than you do, I'm acting like it. That's what the officials do in the government system that they had. Does that sound familiar? So this is, but people have authority. They walk around with their chest out, and they're like, hey, I have authority, and you're going to listen to me. And it's very annoying. And he says, that's the system of the world. But I love the next phrase. The next verse says this, but among you it will be different. See, they have this attitude of, I'm big and bad, and you're going to listen to me, and I'm all that in a bag of chips, maybe baked Lays. I'm all that, and you're going to listen. You're going to heed what I tell you. I'm in control here. He said, it's not going to be that way with you. Whoever wants to be a leader among you must be your servant. So he's changing the mindset from, yes, because he tells them all authority has been given to me, but stop acting like everybody else, because the authority that you have is making an impact on eternity. Look at the next verse, verse 44. And whoever wants to be first among you must be slave of everyone else. So he says, whoever wants to be first among you has got to be a servant. Whoever wants to be first above everybody else must first be a slave. So what he's saying is, you can't lead unless you can serve. You cannot lead unless you can serve. And I'm telling you, it makes my heart leap when I see our leaders serving. And I don't just mean, showing up for a team meeting or showing up to get some information. I'm talking about picking up trash in the parking lot. I'm talking about handing somebody a drink, making sure everybody's taken care of. They're serving. This is the attitude of the kingdom. Whoever wants to be first has to first be last. This is what Jesus, he's changing the mindset. He's changing the system, because they're like, hey, we want to sit on your right and left, and we want to make judgment calls like you do. And Jesus was like, well, that ain't for me to decide. Let me just tell you, if you really want to be first, you got to first be last. And what I'm telling you here at WRC is, and in every evangelical church is, it ain't about you. Y'all are quiet this morning. It's about to get more quiet. I heard a pastor say one time that his people were complaining, like one of the people were complaining about the songs. They were just like, I just don't like that song that we sing. He said, that's a good thing, because if we wasn't singing to you, it ain't about us, y'all. It just ain't. I mean, we can shut all this down, go out there behind what's left of the oak tree. It's in a bad shape. And have church. We don't. Listen, it's not about, it's about the next people to come. It's about whoever hasn't been here yet. It's about the people who haven't been water baptized. It's about the people who haven't got on a dream team. It's about the people who haven't started committing to being into a life group and jumping in and serving and giving. It's not about us. It's about the next ones to come. And so this is what he goes. Then he moves into this. He says this, and this is on our we have a serve card. It says you got served. And so we give those out. I think they're at the next steps area in the breezeway. Grab you something. When you serve somebody, you can give them a card, and it says you got served, which is kind of funny, I thought. You got served. That's funny. You got served, and in the back it says Mark 10:45, which is this verse right here. Mark 10:45. For the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many. So what he's saying is, I didn't come to sit on the throne, prop my feet up, and you take care of me. My job is to come here and to serve you. I mean, he washed the disciples' feet. And we get this attitude and this idea that it's about us, and whatever we want to see happen is going to happen. Jesus said, you need your feet washed, I'll wash your feet. Listen, Jesus was very clear that I'm going to serve every single other person before I get served. If we would have that attitude, and I'm not saying we don't, I'm saying we need to make sure it stays in front of us. But sometimes we forget why we're doing stuff. And what I've learned in leadership is if you don't know your why, you'll lose your what. So your what is what you do, right? Your what is serving. Your what is giving. Your what is showing up on Sunday mornings. Your what is going to life group. Your what is going to the grocery store and helping somebody unload a case of Cokes because they can't do it themselves. Your what is what you do. If you lose your why, you'll lose your what. Why do you do it? Because if you just do it because you're doing it, and I've seen it happen to athletes, they forget why. They fell out of love with the game, and all of a sudden they just walk away from the game. I've seen it in leadership. You've seen it in companies where people forget why they're doing what they're doing, and they walk away from it. If you lose your why, you'll lose your what. But just kind of to add on to that, let me say this. To grow your what, you must know your why. If you're going to grow your what, if you're going to get better at it, if you're going to do even more and go even further, and that's what legacy is about, is going further and going bigger and doing more. If you're going to grow your what, you got to know your why. You have to know why you're doing what you're doing. And today I want to do that just a little bit. I want to share a couple of things with you that you've been doing that you don't even know that you've been doing, because through your financial gifts, we've been doing some things that maybe you don't know about, some areas that we support that have been making an impact globally. And so there's been a lot of, this is where my notes come in. I got a few things to share that I don't want to miss, some things that we did this year. So these 5 lanes of legacy help us focus on our why. Like we want to make sure we're doing it the way we need to do it. And here are the lanes. I want to just give them to you real quick, and then I'm going to show them to you. Lane 5 is international missions. It's global missions. Lane 4 is national missions. Lane 3 is local missions. That's our outreach. Lane 2 is PEL Ministries, which is where we were born out of. And then Lane 1 is our building fund. So that's our 5 lanes, and I'll show them to you. If you're trying to take notes, you'll see them here in just a second. But I want to break those down for you. And what we've done in every one of those lanes this year, in the middle of a pandemic, in the middle of 2 hurricanes that landed 12 miles apart, mind you. I lost several trees in the first one, and which I know is not a big deal because some of y'all lost everything. I'm not complaining about it. All I'm saying is that whatever loose was left around, the next storm took it and took care of that. And we had 2 storms hit in the middle of a pandemic. It's been an uncertain year. Starting in March, we have not, for 7 months, we had church inconsistently, probably actually about 5 months, inconsistently had church. We adapted. We tried to grow through it, and I think that we did a decent job. But in the middle of all that, we still made an impact, and you guys made an impact. And here's the first lane I want to show you. It's the Association of Related Churches. This is international, and Principio Coffee. Now, the Association of Related Churches is a church planting organization that all they do is plant churches. And they have planted, I don't know, dozens internationally. They plant a lot of churches internationally. And what they do is they give them tools to go do what they need to do to start the church. But what they do is they receive funding from churches, whoever want to give to it. Here's the cool part. I love this. 100% of every dollar that's given them goes straight to planting churches, because the church who started at Church of the Highlands covers all the overhead. So they don't have to pay a staff member. They don't have to buy a building. Everything that we give to this organization goes straight to planting churches. And here's the cool part. Thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people get saved on the very first opening weekend of an ARC church plant. That's incredible. And you guys have a hand in that. Every dollar that you give, some of that money goes into the ARC, which is Association of Related Churches. I'll talk more about that in a minute nationally. And then Principio Coffee, which I love this. This is Honduran coffee. And by the way, if you drank coffee this morning, there's a good chance you were drinking Principio Coffee. We donate to their ministry. We buy coffee from them. And so it's really incredible, because what they do is there's a local missionary whose daughter, is April in the house? April's dad, Mr. Melvin, he is a missionary, and so he's gone to Honduras, and he has trained the people locally how to harvest their own coffee, buys it back from them, and does everything here he needs to do, and make sure they get 100% of the profits that they need to do what they got to do. Now, obviously, it takes money to run it here. But the cool part is, for every one bag that you buy, could buy a hot meal for a single kid for a single month. That's incredible. And you guys are a part of that, because we get coffee from them. And we need to start getting the big bags, because we got the little stuff. We wanted the big bags. He even made us our own blend. We had a WRC blend. I think he like put some gator in it or something. I don't know what he put in there, some alligator or some fried squirrel or something. I don't really know what he put in it, but man, it was so good. Listen, y'all can go on his website and get your own, by the way. You don't have to do it through us. You can go on his website and make a donation and get your own. He's got some that's got a cinnamon flavor in it. He puts cinnamon in it. Woo! It's so good. I'm telling you, and it ain't like just the smell of it. You can taste the cinnamon in it. Man, it's good. So I would challenge you to check out Principio, which I think means hope It means hope in the Honduran language. So it's hope coffee. And so you're giving hope. And so the church is helping with that. So I wanted you to see that. So that's international. That's global. And I got a few pictures I want to show you. Here's just a couple of that I pulled off their website. It's them helping grind up some coffee there. And then I think they're washing some here and letting it dry. And so it's a pretty cool situation that they have over there. And it's really neat to watch. We're trying to put a mission trip together. This year has been tough to do that. We're trying to get a mission trip to go over there and help them do what they're doing. Here's the cool part. This is what I love. What he's doing in the little villages, they're taking to other villages, and they're multiplying the same plan. So whatever he's doing is getting multiplied locally where they're at. It's so cool to see. And so you guys are a part of that. Thank you for being a part of that. Here's lane 4. I don't want to go too fast. I feel like I'm talking fast. I get excited about it. I'm so excited about all the lanes that we have going on that y'all get to be a part of. I can't even contain myself. So here's a couple that's national missions. And to be honest with you, PEL could tie into all of these, but we made a lane just for that ministry. So lane 4 is national missions. Abbey Lane is a retreat that we support every single month for just pastors and staff members. No kids allowed, which is awesome. No, I don't think any pets either. So when you go, it's nothing but adults, which is incredible. And what it is a retreat center because the guy who started it really got burned out in ministry and almost walked away from his church. And in fact, took a 3-month sabbatical or 5 months just because he was about to it was fall over. He was so exhausted after 19 years of being in ministry in this one church, of transferring it from more traditional to a more modern church, and it just about zapped him. So they found some land that his wife had up in Coshada, Louisiana. They opened up this retreat center. They have 3 cabins and a really nice house with some rooms in it. And so I want to show you a couple of the pictures, but it's just for pastors to show up and get rejuvenated, get reconnected. They got 12 prayer walks that you can go on that are really, really neat, that just the presence of God's in that place is so powerful. But I usually go up there about twice a year. Typically, I don't know if you can see this, there's a little cabin in the woods there. And then here's a kind of a closer up look of what it looks like. Here's the inside of it. So this is what, it's a nice little cabin. It's not just some little hole in the wall. This is a nice place. They supply meals, 2 meals, all 3 meals a day. So when you get there, you don't have to worry about food. You can just go, and here's the cool part. You can stay there for up to 6 weeks. You know what they charge you? Nothing. They don't charge you anything. So pastors who can't afford to go, now we support this monthly, and we also usually leave a donation when we go. This is just let me just tell you, pastors are worn out. I know you're worn out. I get it. We're all worn out. But in this season that we're in, pastors are about to give up and walk away from the ministry. This is a place they can go and get rejuvenated. This is my favorite shot here. This is the front porch. I ain't even showing you the fireplace. The fireplace is real nice. It's just wind's blowing through. They're far enough away from the road, you don't even really hear the traffic. It is awesome. And so this is Abbey Lane. So we love this ministry. It's part of what we do. And the other thing I want to tell you about real quick was ARC nationally. ARC has planted over 900 churches since 2020. I mean, not 20. We're in 2020. Since 2000. All right, they've planted over 900 life-giving churches with tens of thousands of people getting saved in the first few weeks of that church launch. And they're life-giving churches. And so you guys are part of that. That's the national missions. Here's local. This is where we probably see a lot of what we do. And so here's a few of the things that we do. Backpack giveaway. We gave over 450 backpacks away in a drive-through situation. How many of y'all served in that? Let me see your hand if you served. Thank you guys so much. You guys made a huge impact. Some of y'all gave. Some of you served. Some of you in the church is just, by the way, this is in our budget. So we didn't ask you guys for a single penny. It's just in our budget to do it. So we actually were able to put together 450 plus backpacks. So I asked Whitley this morning, I said, if you had a vision for next year, what number would you give me? She was like, double it. I'm like, all right, let's go 900. I don't know. We'll go 900 next year. But that's our goal. Is this thing started, I think we gave away 50 backpacks the first year, about 5 years ago, and we just landed 450, and we're hoping to have 1,000 next year. And so that's the backpack giveaway. It's for people who really need it. I mean, people who the parents just can't afford their kids to go back to school, which I guess it's cheaper than feeding them every day now that we haven't had school in 7 months. But it's a great ministry that we are part of. That we actually have launched. And then ABC Pregnancy Center, I'm going to come back to that in just a second because I got more data on that. Community Chest is a local ministry that we support that they actually filter, because you do have people who abuse the system, and they actually filter who's really abusing and who's not. So we support them, and people who come here with real needs, we'll send them to her, and she takes care of them. She does an awesome job. That's local. And then local churches, we've helped some local churches out. One local church, their hot water heater went out. Or water heater. It's not a hot water heater. It's a water heater, right? Is that what you got, a water heater? So their water heater went out, so we helped them. We actually went and bought one for them. So helped them out with that and a few other things we've done for local churches. We've also helped some disaster relief. I'll tell you about that in a second. Local families, just people in need, whether they're, they have something for their car or something medical. We've helped people just pay their energy bill. We didn't give them money. We call it energy, and we paid for it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know what I'm talking about. So we didn't just hand them cash money. We called and we paid it for them over the phone. So we've done some things like that. Serve Day was a big deal, kind of dialed down this year. We served food to our first responders and cleaned up some yards. Made the news, by the way. Made the news this year, and so it was awesome to see what God was doing through Serve Day. Serve Day is a national, actually it's global, but really nationally, churches get together on the same day in July and just reach out to their community. And so it's an awesome time to get together. And we've kind of been doing Serve Days since the storm, which is what we're calling disaster relief. And disaster relief, we've done a few things that I want to tell you about that you may not know about. We had Clay help set up a shower from Church of the King at Life United. Life United gave away over 93,000 meals while they were here. 93,000 in 2 weeks. 93,000. 93,000 meals they gave away for 2 weeks when they were here. We had teams over there helping them package the meals. We had teams helping. We had a shower trailer set up over there that Clay had set up. So we were helping him clean the showers. And I got the numbers here. We, just from what we could figure out, gave away over 700 showers. And what they do is they take a shower, and then we go in after and clean it. And it's for the workers and the servants who come in from out of town, don't have a place to shower. So we gave away over 700 showers, washed over 250 loads of laundry, because it has a laundry room in that as well. And then, of course, helped with the meals, 93,000 meals, which was awesome. That team that came in from ARC, right? I told you about ARC. That team came in. We helped them assess yards. So we were going out and helping them look at yards, write down how many trees, everything that they needed to do that. And we assessed 144 yards, helped them do that. And then they cleaned up over 80 of those yards. And I mean, like skid steers and dingoes. And I mean, like really cleaned up. And I'm talking, when I tell you pine trees this big, some of you guys know they maybe even come to your house. So we've helped them do that with disaster relief. Gave away 10 generators and 10 gas cans. And so that was pretty cool. Somebody donated that to us, and we were able to help you guys out with that. Ignite students showed up and filled up a bunch of sandbags. And I heard that there were some dudes there, and our girls, we had some guys there too, but the girls outworked the guys, which was not a shock, right? But anyway, I don't want to get too deep in the woods. I got some more scripture to show you, but I wanted to show you that you're making a difference. For every dollar that you give, 12% of that, 12 cents on the dollar, $12 out of every 100 is going away, going out and helping somebody else. We were able to help Crossroads out. They did a supply thing. They had a bunch of materials, food, things like that they had that they would just gave away every single day. And so we went and helped them with that. They also did about 1,000 meals a day for about a week. And so that was fun to help out with. So there's a lot of different things like that we've helped out with. The WRC team is putting the team together. We've gone out and done yards, 20-plus yards with disaster relief. And so guys been doing some pretty cool stuff through that. So disaster relief was a big one. I want to go back to ABC real quick because I want to show you the numbers. ABC is something we support monthly. And if you don't know, abortion's a big deal, right? To be honest with you, until we fix the abortion situation, it don't matter what's going on in Washington. I'm just going to be real with you. It doesn't matter what's going on in Washington. It doesn't matter what's going on in the local government. If we don't fix abortion, it's going to be hard for God to bless the United States of America. It is a serious, serious, serious situation. I can't even tell you how serious abortion is. Now, here's the cool thing. If you've gone through that, if you've done that, God is the God of repentance. He's the God of grace. He's the God of love and compassion, and he will bring you over to the other side. But I'm just telling you, when we legally say it's okay to murder an unborn baby, it is not okay. It's just not. So ABC Pregnancy Center, they reach out to local women who have, for some reason they've gotten pregnant and they don't want the baby. They're thinking about giving the baby up or actually murdering the baby, really. They're thinking about abortion. They bring them in, and then they just love on them. And here are the numbers from ABC just from this year in the middle of a pandemic and 2 storms. Oh, that's blurry. 168 babies got saved. Come on. My quality didn't come across as clear as I really wanted it to come across. That's all right. I'll read them to you. 168 babies saved from abortion. That's 168 souls saved. That's 168 future leaders. That's 168 future people who are pouring into other people. 168 babies. This is just 2020. 10 professions of faith from the moms. after being loved on, found Jesus, 10 of them. 212 ultrasounds, 543 free pregnancy tests, and 6 rededications of life for the moms that were already saved. They just gave their life back to Jesus. If we did nothing else but just help ABC do what they did, I think it's a blessing. And so that's just one of the ministries that we support that God has allowed us to be a part of. Let me share with you just real briefly about PEL. You hear a little bit more about this one because it's in our DNA, it's in our heartbeat, it's what we do. Our church was born out of this ministry. My dad started a ministry in 2003, began to just travel and teach and preach, went to several different states. This year, I know last year we were at 48 states. Remember, they said there was 2 that we didn't ship to. I still haven't gotten those numbers, so I don't know. Mom says we did. We're going to go with 50 states last year. This year we've shipped to 44 different states, even in the middle of this craziness. And so we've sent books to just about every state in the country. And I got a message this week from a guy just saying, thank you so much for writing the books, give me deep revelation. I now have new hope of how to pray for my lost family members. If you don't have a copy, we have yellow books at the Next Steps area. Get one before you leave. Don't miss out on that. We had a few up here, but I think they're all outside now. We have 2 other books as well that my dad's written, Living the Exceedingly Victorious Life and Life's Best Kept Secret. So you really want to read all of those. We give them away. When he wrote the book, God said, don't sell it, so we just give them away. And so if you want some, take some with you. It's a powerful ministry. We've seen incredible stuff happen. We've seen people who were just hooked on drugs and alcohol and living in witchcraft get saved and find Jesus. It's been incredible. So many testimonies. I don't even have time to give you all of them. I read one story up here not too long ago about a lady who got connected to our prayer page, got connected to a man on the prayer page, ended up helping them dig wells in Africa because they connected to our ministry. And so it's been incredible. And so it's been a lot of fun to watch what God has done and will continue to do through PEL. And you're a part of that. And so a percentage of what you guys give goes to keep helping books get printed. Almost 2 million copies in print. And I think 30, how many languages, Dad? 36, 30? It's hard to keep up with them anymore. It's 30-something languages have been translated and printed. We have some of those translated that haven't been printed, and we're working on some others. So anyway, it's an awesome ministry to see what God's doing through PEL Ministries. You guys are a big part of that. Now, God tells us that we are supposed to serve one another. He tells us that through a ministry, through your own, just wherever you go, serve one another. In fact, he tells us this in Galatians chapter 5, verse 13. He says, don't use your freedom to sin. He says, instead, use your freedom to serve one another in love. And so he's telling us to serve. He says, look, I want you to reach out to other people. I want you to help others find Jesus. I want you to help others find me. You're supposed to serve one another in love. And so I'm just saying you do this through your financial giving, through WRC. And what we've done this year has been incredible. I want to go back to the end of that story. Mark chapter 10, verse 46. We read 45 where he tells us what we're supposed to do. To serve one another. Jesus didn't come to be served, but to serve. Then verse 46 says this. He says, then they reached the town of Jericho, and as Jesus and his disciples left the town, a large crowd followed him. A blind beggar named Bartimaeus was sitting beside the road. In fact, we've actually named him Blind Bartimaeus. We've actually given him the nickname that he's blind. Like we actually started calling him Blind Bart. I mean, that was his name, Blind Bart. And I know it sounds like a golf course, right? Blind Bart. So Blind Bart was sitting there. He's begging. He's a beggar on the side of the road. And I love this. When old Bart heard that Jesus of Nazareth was nearby, he began to shout, Son of David, have mercy on me. He heard that Jesus was nearby. He's blind, right? So he don't even know where Jesus is. He can't see Jesus, but he knows he's nearby. Here's the word I want to give you this morning and where you're going through and where you're at right now. You may not be able to see Jesus, but it doesn't mean he's not there. You might not be able to see him, but it doesn't mean he's not there. And I'm just telling you right now, some of y'all, you just can't see him right now because so much is going on. You're so worn out. You got so much stress going on. You don't know what's going to happen with your home, or you don't know what's going to happen with your job. You know what's going to happen in 2021. You don't know if there's going to be 13 months to this year. We might go into slept over. I don't know, whatever month is 2020 is going to bring us in the 13th month of the year. But we don't know what's happening, and we can't see Jesus, but it doesn't mean he's not there. So he says he knew he was nearby. He began to shout, Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me. And then I love this. They told him to be quiet. Many people yelled at him, but he only shouted louder. Woo, you got some people in your life saying, hey, look, just take a chill pill. Just keep shouting. Just get loud. Like that crazy aunt coming for Thanksgiving in a few weeks, get that loud. Get that crazy, get that loud. Get loud like you're a lunatic. So he got louder. Son of David, have mercy on me. He cried even louder. And I just can't even. It's going to take me a second to get to this next verse. I don't think you're ready for this next verse. I just don't think you're ready for it. I wasn't ready for it. Because this next verse, the words that Jesus spoke, are the words that they were kind of saying that he was speaking, is a word that God is speaking to you today. Here's what it is, and I don't want you to miss this. When Jesus heard him, he stopped and said, tell him to come here. And they called the blind man and said, cheer up. Come on, he's calling you. Woo, woo. Can I just tell you, wherever you're at this morning, come on, he's calling you. And for some of y'all, that means something different. Come on, he's calling you means it's time for you to get off your tail and start doing some stuff. It's time for you to jump into a dream team. I'll tell you more about that in just a second. It's time for you to jump into a life group. It's time for you to financially start supporting what's going on here at WRC or whatever church you're a part of. It's time for you to jump up. For some of y'all, it means it's time to join Jesus in his mission and become a Christian and follow after him. He says, come on, he's calling you. And there are so many areas that he's calling you to. And you're going to find one that's going to be the fit. God's saying, look, just get up and start moving. Start moving. It's a place for you to jump in. Come on, he's calling you. And let me just say, he's calling you to a few things real quick. Connect to a life group, commit to giving, serve on a dream team. Let me just give you real quick, I'm just going to read through them real quick. I got a couple minutes. We got a baptism team that gets the people ready for baptistry to get baptized. We have an events team that helps out with that. We got a facilities team. So if you can like patch sheet rock and use a hammer and a screw gun, come on, we got a team for that. It helps keep the place up here looking nice and keeping us going. Are there any Kates in the house? Okay, I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but I'm going to. Andy Cates runs that team, and you will not meet another person with a servant's heart like Andy Cates. Incredible people, incredible family. They came here on the first Sunday on October the 7th, 2012. Been knowing Andy Cates. In fact, we were part of his salvation. Guy was in prison, got out, lived with his grandma. We went and saw him. He got saved, married an incredible young woman, Christy, and they now run our facilities team. And they were up here cleaning last night, and he stuck the blower. Someone was going with the blower. He stuck his fingers in it and almost cut two of them off. He was in the ER last night, but he's home. To be honest with you, he may show up to second service. I don't know. I mean, to be honest with you, he may be dripping blood everywhere. He may be here. I don't know. But I'm just telling you that blesses my heart, man. Not that he got his fingers cut off. That's not. They're just so committed. And that's just one of our teams. And that's a leader that you want to follow. I'm just telling you. Jump on the facilities team and help us with that. I got a bunch of them. I don't have time to go through all of them. I thought I had more time. I'm talking even faster right now. But let me just tell you how you get on a team, super easy. You go through Growth Track. And right now, you can do all 4 steps today. Normally, it takes you a month to do that. You can do them today online. Go to WRCchurch.com, click on Next Steps, jump on a team. I'm telling you, a team leader will contact you. Be a part of what God's doing. Be a part of the legacy. That's what I'll challenge you to do. We have 25 different teams for you to jump on. And if you're a 6th grade or older, we got a place for you. All right, jump into a life group. Listen, help us lead a life group. Man, we have a system for that. We'll show you how to do that, what you need to do. Help us lead a life group, man. We got to get life groups back off and going. And some of us were just kind of meeting here and there, having parties and hanging out. It's been awesome. But come January, we launch in big time. I'm telling you, commit to. I'm telling you, it's time for us to stop watching and jump in. It's time to get off the sideline, y'all. It's just time. And let me tell you, if you got off the sideline in 2020, you did something. Help us support the vision of WRC. Here's what the guy did. I love this. Bartimaeus threw aside his coat and jumped up and came to Jesus. Jesus was calling him, and he jumped up and came running. And I love this. Jesus was so awesome. He says, "What do you want me to do for you?" Like here's a blind man who's a beggar, been begging his whole life, and Jesus was like, "All right, what do you want?" Now, I just wonder if he'd have said, "Man, $20 would be real nice." If Jesus would have given him a little gold coin and said, "All right, let me just tell you, you get what you ask for." In fact, you don't get what you don't ask for. You have not because you ask not. And when you do ask, you ask for what I want. He says, what do you want? He says, my rabbi, the blind man said, I want to see. I just love that. Jesus was like, all right, what do you need, man? He's looking at a blind man that can't even see him. He says, what do you want? And the guy, he knew immediately what he wanted. Here's the crazy thing. Even if you don't know what you want, you open your mouth and start praying, God will give you the words to pray. He says, I want to see. And I love this. Jesus said to him, go, for your faith has healed you. And instantly the man could see, and he followed Jesus down the road. And I'd say he probably followed him for the rest of his life. Jesus is calling. What is your response? And I want to leave you with this thought too. In 2020, we've given away over $50,000 that we just said, you know what? That ministry needs it. We want to support that. Listen, this is bigger than one location in Moss Bluff, Louisiana. In fact, I think God's calling us to multiple campuses down the road at some point. But let me just tell you, it's bigger than us. We want to help plant churches in Africa. Listen, we want to help harvest beans in Honduras for coffee. We want to help ministers go to a place called Abbey Lane and get rejuvenated because it ain't just about us, y'all. What we're doing, we're helping the kingdom. That's our vision here. I said support the ministry, support the vision. Our vision is kingdom. My heart is local pastors. My heart is the churches down the road that are struggling, don't even have a place to meet right now. I'm like, hey, y'all come over. Now, they're 3 times bigger than we are. I'll figure it out. Y'all come, man. Come find a place. We'll find a way for y'all to make it. Come over here and shoot video, whatever you need. Listen, it's bigger than us sitting in this room right here. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's bigger than this. And let me just tell you, it's bigger than where we are right now because we're moving, y'all. We got land 1 mile north of here. And, in fact, that's our last lane. And I'm actually going to save this. I wasn't planning on sharing about it anyway, but I just want to show you. I'm going to share more about this the week after Legacy. At the movies. And so don't miss that week because it's going to be incredible. We're going to show you some floor plans, some new floor plans, and what God's doing and where we're at on that. But I want you to know that God is calling us to be bigger than we are right now. Like don't let what you see keep you from where God wants you to be. All right? Because we see where we're at, and we're like, oh, I'm limited with this. God, I can't do that, and I can't do that, and I can't speak well, and I don't know the Bible well enough to go teach kids. Baloney. That's an excuse for you to stay sitting where you're sitting. It's time to jump in. And I don't normally do this, and I know I'm going over a little bit, but we're going to be all right. Let me just give you one more minute. Let me just give you just challenge. I can't tell you 5 times I've stood on this stage in the last 5 years and just said, we need your money. We don't. God don't need your money. He wants your heart, and that's your money's connected to your heart. Finances are good. He needs your connection. He needs you to be committed, and not just with your finances, with your time. We have teams right now. We need about 8 people on a certain team, one of our pre-K teams. We need about 8 of them, just to get through a month where they're serving several times a month. Right now, they're almost serving every week because we have 2 people on that team. We need you. Listen, we want you to find your calling. And I know some of y'all is like, okay, that's what I was been thinking. I don't know if I wanted to serve or not. That's me telling you that God's telling you to say yes. We got some teams. That most of our teams are super healthy. Things are going great. But I want you to know we got teams that we need. Whatever you have, we need it. You're not here by accident. We need what you got, and it's time to get off the sidelines. I get it. I understand, y'all. I've been burnt by church. I've been wounded. I've been hurt. I've been exhausted. Some of y'all been here long enough to get healed. Things are getting better, feeling better. It's time to jump in. Like let's get off the DL, all right? Disabled list. If you don't know what that is in football, that's the DL, the disabled list. It's time to get off the disabled list and get enlisted and start jumping in and start helping. Let me just to clarify. Before COVID, we were running around 300 people, 320 on a Sunday morning. Do y'all know that we have 157 Dream Teamers? You know how many pastors are drooling over that number right there? I'm not standing up here going, nobody's serving. I'm telling you, we need you, and we need you, and we need you. We need everybody to jump in because we can't fulfill the vision God's given us without you. Can't do it. We'll go as far as you guys want to go. We need you. Let's make a lasting legacy that leaves an impact for eternity. Not for 2020, not for 2025, not through 2030, through eternity. Help us. Help us.